everyone. Welcome in. I am Kapualani. We're here with your timeless guidance. And remember, this is a general reading. So, as always, take what resonates, leave the rest behind. And before we actually dive into the cards, we're going to clear the space, chiming my tuning fork, also giving us room to set some goals and intentions if you would like to. So, breathing deeply in through the nose as deeply and fully as you can go, and then exhaling through the mouth with a ha or a sigh, taking 3 to 4 nice deep inhalations and exhalations. All right, so let's open space. Okay, so thanks again for being here. I hope this finds you doing well. Right away, we've got protection energy, the Emperor, and the Magician. Wow. Okay. So these are some very powerful masculine energies coming through. This is all about empowerment, self empowerment. This is a time to really focus on taking control and taking the lead in your own life story. And actually, for some, okay, this isn't going to be for everybody necessarily, but you may be someone who is in a position of power, of responsibility, of authority. If not, you're wanting to step into that and take ownership of that. But I feel like there may be something going on behind the scenes. I don't know if you have been feeling manipulated, or like maybe there are some strings being pulled again behind the scenes, is what I'm getting. Maybe you're the one that's doing the string pulling, and this doesn't have to necessarily be shady. It can, again, for some, but for others, because I always start from the inside out, but I'm getting, just like, see how my fingers are doing this, I do that, but I'm like, there's two. So there may be maybe the facade, or the, like, what you present to the world, the version of yourself as a leader that you present to the world. And then, like, I don't know, I'm thinking of like the Wizard of Oz, the person behind the curtain. So there may be something along those lines in that kind of a dynamic coming up right now, or at least something that Spirit is wanting us to focus on. So that's really interesting right off the bat. um I'm just getting it again. They're like control, personal authority, personal power, having again to show maybe one side of yourself to the masses, and then behind the scenes maybe there's something else going on. Spirit, can we get some elaboration on that, please? What is the message from Magician, the Emperor, from both of these energies showing up? What is the purpose? What is the message of these energies, these individuals, the Hierophant? There's something going on. I'm hearing like, okay, wow. There's just major, spiritually at minimum, on a spiritual level. There's definitely something going on behind the scenes that's setting you up for bigger things to come. Something, someone, you yourself are, I'm hearing, crowned by Spirit. You're deepening your connection. This is a time to be open and receptive, because you are likely receiving a lot of divine guidance and downloads that are going to start to make a lot more sense. If you have been feeling as though there's been manipulations going on behind the scenes, or just energies coming at you, know that you are protected. Okay, there are people, I feel like there's definitely some form of a deeper responsibility that we're looking at, and whether this is, again, like, this is bigger than just your day-to-day life. There's something much more expansive that you're going through. The Hierophant, I don't know why, but there's an exchange of energy when we see the Hierophant. Okay, and for whatever reason, I'm getting agreements. So I don't know if you're in some discussions, if there is a discussion that's taking place, going to be taking place. The path that you're on right now is very much meant to be and divinely guided. Let me not forget, because I just want to put that out there. The Magician, Virgo, Gemini energies, the Emperor, Aries energies, the Hierophant, Taurus energies. There may be some form of a collaboration going on in terms of a bigger picture project or something that's a longer term, a bigger sort of deal than just kind of like, oh yeah, we're gonna knock this project out in a weekend. No, this is something that's going to be like meant to built to last is what I'm getting. Whatever you are kind of looking at, stepping into, discussing. And it's funny, before we pulled the Hierophant, I was doing the two, made my hands with my two fingers, and then we've got this Hierophant with the two fingers. So there's something that is definitely being divinely guided for sure. Okay, there's some kind of a connection that's being made, coming together. There may be someone specifically who will be connecting you with someone or something significant, a project, a direction, a connection of some sort. But let's see, Spirit, what else do we need to know about this? Oh my gosh, you guys, Judgment. These cards are kind of like tripping me out right now. Big time. You're gonna feel some part of you coming back to life. If you've been waiting, especially, like, it's almost like I get, where like life is just like like a flat line. This Judgment card is like poof, shocking the life back into you, bring revival of some sort. So there are some major pieces, bigger picture pieces that are moving around right now, and restoration is happening behind the scenes. I feel like there are some really big hitting energies you are likely feeling, especially if you've been drawn to watch this video. There's angelic presence around you. There is ancestral, well, specifically spiritual, high spirit energies surrounding you. Okay. The parts of yourself like that you have been doing very deep healing on, that cycle of like, okay, like, when are we gonna kind of make a little bit more of a breakthrough? That this is it. There's that breakthrough that's underway, that's coming. Again, it's all being divinely guided. I mean, I don't even, this is just, all I can say is there's some big stuff that's happening. All that's required of you is just to show up and be yourself, like, really, and give yourself that space to allow spirit to guide you, to allow your higher self to guide you, to allow that future highest timeline version of yourself to step in, because it's like you're getting, I mean, I'm seeing, if there was a pathway and you see these footsteps to follow, because that's like your future steps, let's just say, you're getting closer and closer to this threshold of, like, no going back to the way things were in a good way, to falling into those same patterns and cycles, to falling into, how they say, oh, the red flags, like, okay, not only are you finally able to identify those red flags, but like you're seeing it coming from a mile away, or like, to the point where now magnetically, energetically, you're being drawn into other areas. You may be tested, just as this kind of continues to cycle out. Okay, small tests though, nothing that's going to completely throw you off, because at this point you know better, right? You know better. All right, so let's keep going with this, Spirit. There may also be some big decisions being made, significant decisions that will have a greater impact on your long-term future. Okay, the Devil, I mean, the hits just keep coming. yeah, remember I said you might be tested a little bit. So just realize that no, this is a new gateway of opportunity. Don't get in your own way. All right? You've come all this way. Don't get in your own way. Recognize if and when that's happening. Okay? That devil shows up also as a sign that, in terms of work, for example, making something happen, bringing something into physical reality, you have that mastery. This is that time. You may have some form of an aha moment, a revelation, and then you can hit the ground running. Okay, these again are things like whenever you're seeing this, I'm getting the message that like the next 30 days to 6 weeks perhaps, but at least in this crunch time of like a week's time, because that's when I release these things, there's major energies at play that are getting you set up for the next phases, like the long term. Okay, long term stuff. Okay. um and so yeah, going back to this devil, a realization of some sort, in terms of like I said, those red flags. You're like, wow, I get it now. I see it now. I can choose something differently now. It's taking your power back as well. Different realizations in terms of taking your power back. All right. So what's to come, Spirit? What is this? Where is this like leading? What is this leading us up to? All right. Now we have some softer cards. The Three of Cups, the Ace of Cups. So definitely a new beginning. You're being celebrated. You're not alone. You're in good company. I'm getting quiet celebrations for some reason. I feel something on more of the intimate level in terms of the gathering, or if there is a gathering, if you are connecting with another or others. Again, there may be some kind of a collaboration, a co-collaborative effort, that people, and I say like secret because of just this individual with her back turned. It's like there's something like they've got a little inside joke going on, is what I'm getting, that they know something we don't know. So there's something that's going to be very much, I'm getting like a pleasant surprise. This may have been a long time coming. You may also feel like there are certain, not heavy duty, but if there are certain temptations, like old habits, for example, just maybe not the best habits that are rearing up. This is that time to kind of say, shift out of that, to shift into those newer, positive, healthier habits and behaviors, and just be mindful of just situations that may come up to kind of hit those like triggers on the periphery, is what I'm getting. um but you are leading up to this very much fulfilling new start, a new cycle. You will not be alone. There will be others there to celebrate you, and maybe even to kind of join in on the celebrations. I feel like, I'm just getting, yeah, there's going to be some kind of a major breakthrough that's coming up. It is coming up. It may not happen within this next week, but like I said earlier, for some reason I'm getting anything from like 30 days to 6 months from now. That's just what I'm feeling intuitively. We've got Capricorn energy here, so it may be going into that season perhaps. But I feel like where there may have been some kind of a low, there's going to be some sort of, even again, I'm getting it, an agreement that's being made. Maybe it's you agreeing with yourself, your higher self. But I feel like there could be some form of mentorship, some form of connection. Again, there's conversations that are going on about bigger things here, bigger things to come and in the future. So, all right. Before we close out, let's not forget. We're gonna pull one of my animal spirit book guides here. Oh, and if this is your first time watching, there will be a part 2 to this. So I'm gonna dive deeper into these cards, okay, and just kind of see what else is revealed, what other information we can gather from spirit about just where this is all leading us, what this could all allude to, you know. So, all right, we're going to pull from that. And actually, I'll just let you know, we're also going to be asking yes, no questions, my angel oracle deck and my romance angels. So if you have any questions that you want to ask the angels, join us in part 2, kapualani.com/extensions, to check that video out. All right, but let's see. Animal spirits, animal spirit guides, what do we need to know? What is our message in this moment to go along with this reading? There's a messenger that's going to be coming your way with good news. Yeah, I just got that as I'm shuffling. Of course, we got like 3 cards, 3 here. So tarantula, dragonfly, and whale. Woo, this is a lot. I might need just to be like, okay, guys, I'm just gonna give you guys the meaning from the book. Let me tune in here. Sorry to be covering the faces of these other beings. You know what? I'm gonna move this here. Thanks for your patience, everybody. All right. Sensitivity, receptivity. There's a fiery nature with the tarantula. So fire, air, and water. Interesting. Transformation, higher intelligence, sensitivity, maneuvering. There's movement that's taking place, some kind of a long-term, again, bigger sort of movement that's taking place. There's a gentleness as well, and I'm getting again the word transformation here. Obviously I'm combining the messages that I'm receiving from these beings, and for those who know, I will be reading the meaning of these animal spirits from the book in part 2, so you want to stay tuned for that. Check that out. Different directions are coming together and alchemizing. It's this joint effort that's happening right now, and whether or not that is something that happens directly or all at once isn't necessarily the point. It's kind of like connecting the dots in a way. There may be instances when, you know, there is like a joining of people or coming together of something. This is something that's happening in it can be a very subtle kind of way. All right, this shift, this energy, the message that I'm getting right now, it's as simple as, you know, connecting with friends or neighbors, and then the pieces of a bigger puzzle start to come together. There's something about that in terms of recognizing that you are part of a greater whole, you know, and that you are a big part of that in your own way, in whatever which way that is. But there is something purposed here that's coming about and coming through, and especially in terms of what you are spiritually, energetically, like, you know, in all the ways here to offer in this lifetime, what you came here to experience and what you came here to share, all right, in your own unique way. So we're going to dive deeper into these meanings in our part 2, as I mentioned earlier, and you're welcome to schedule a session with me if you would like at kapualani.com. But again, part 2 is at kapualani.com/extensions. Again, I'm going to put that link in the comments in the description box below, but I will see you in part 2. Thank you so much for being here.